At the end of this video, you'll have the understanding of the 6 different stages your consumers go through in their decision-making process, and you'll also understand how to influence them. Getting this right is key for any marketing strategy because you really want to understand where you can bring that influence, how to change consumers' mind, and at what different stages you can win people over. Also, in this video, we're going to talk about involvement levels and what goes into making a decision and why different consumer decisions have different weightings in their mind. So by understanding that, we can evaluate how to make that influence. So before talking about the decision-making process, what's really important to discuss first is the involvement level of your product. So when we talk about involvement level, think of the difference between a low involvement product like a pack of gum when you're at the supermarket. You grab it from the shelf, it's pretty frivolous, cheap buy, then there's a really quick process to getting to the end of that purchase. Compared to something like buying a new car, where you're going to be talking to friends, family, you're going to be looking at a lot of different makes and models, the price is really high, and even once you've found the car that you want, after a couple of months of research, you then might go on to spend another few weeks finding the right price for it. So they're the 2 extremes of involvement levels, and making sure that you understand where your product falls between them is absolutely vital for influencing the decision-making process moving forward. But now let's talk about the decision-making process. And the first step in the decision-making process is thinking about your need recognition. And what we mean by need recognition is just the aspect of a need to satisfy a problem in your life, right? So for gum, it's bad breath. For food, for hunger, it's food. For buying a car, it's the need for transport. You're not even at the stage where you've committed to buy a car yet. You might be considering options like public transport or biking, things like that, but you just have that need to satisfy. So the second part of the decision-making process is the research, the product information side of things. So this is when you're looking on Google, you're speaking to friends and family about the problem you have and some options you might have to solve it, and you're really deep diving and doing the investigation on what your need is and the options out there that can satisfy. So the third stage of the decision-making process is product evaluation. So at this time, you've narrowed down some of your options, you understand what price you're willing to pay and what options there are out there to satisfy that. You're also thinking about other factors that come into your decision. So if it's a new car, do you have a specific color in mind? Do you have a specific make in mind? Do you have a specific horsepower in mind? So then you're evaluating and you're narrowing down and you're doing deep dives into comparisons of what you can get. So if we refer back to the gum example, the part of this is you're looking at the different flavors of gum and you pick your favorite. When you're referring to a car, you're looking at the different makes, models, you're going on Auto Trader, you're Googling things, and you're doing that research, you're putting in your price brackets to really narrow down what is possible for you. So the fourth stage of the decision-making process is product choice and making the purchase, right? So the really simple one, this is the big one, you're handing over your money, and this stage ends as soon as your money hits their bank account. So stage number 5 is post-purchase evaluation. This is actually where you're using the product and understanding how much that product satisfies your original need that you had at the start. So number 6 is disposal. So now you need to satisfy a new craving for that new product and get rid of this old one that you originally had the need for. So now you're thinking about, is there a resale value to this? Or is there certain warranties or trade-ins that I can get? Even the disposal of the product will influence your want and your original decision-making process. So now we're going to go through those stages again, but instead of thinking like a consumer, we're going to talk about how marketers think about approaching these problems. So the first one, need recognition. This is a really obvious one once you start to notice it around. So you'll notice a lot of food ads won't start with the flavor of the food, but they'll start with the word hungry ? Or Pepsi Max ads always start with the word thirsty ? It's really an interesting one that once you start to notice it. So when marketers are thinking about need recognition and prompting a certain need within a consumer, what they're thinking about is mass marketing, lots of eyeballs. This is where YouTube ads will come in, TV ads will come in, and really start to watch those from the point of view of why are they saying these certain things to me and what are they trying to prompt from me. Thinking from a marketer again, with the second stage of the decision-making process being the search for product information. This is where we want to get out to people that are actively in that research phase. So getting in front of them on Google, or knowing that they're in market and then retargeting them with social media, where you're reminding them not just that your product can meet their needs, but why your product meets their needs better than your competitors. What are the attributes and the factors that make your product better? So now again, with the product evaluation side of things, this is where they've already done that research. They know that your products exist. They're in market for your product. So now they're really comparing your product to your competitors' products. The things that are going to make a big influence in this stage are going to be things like testimonials, reviews, case studies if you're a service-based business, but also integrating things like email marketing. So you're sending them a discount after they've added it to the checkout, or you're communicating with them effectively as to why to pick you, more on a one-to-one basis over generic ads. A great example of this is Tesco doing the Aldi price match that you might have seen, right? Tesco's know that they have a better checkout process, their stores are kind of nicer to be in, but they know that they're not as competitive on price as Aldi is. So that is why that you will see on only your favorite items, by the way, only the most popular items they would have had this. So for me, I go in and buy chicken from there, and they'll have Aldi price match on there. But they also know that I'm going to fill my basket with 9, 10 other things that are more expensive than Aldi because they have the better brand. So that is them using the product evaluation stage to keep you coming back to them. So number 4, your product choice and your purchase. So this is a really interesting one to get to grips with. It happens more on the luxury end of things, but think about a lot of the luxury businesses don't just think about the purchase as a transaction or a process. They think of it as an experience. An obvious one would be if you buy a new house, a bottle of champagne gets popped. Or when you go into a luxury store like Yves Saint Laurent, you get an experience with it. So you don't just buy the product and they put it in a plastic bag and give it to you. You get a nice box, you get different goodies, you get subscribed to different newsletters, you get kept up to date. You're building that experience into it, and see where you can factor that into your marketing. I've got a friend that runs a Shopify site, right? And all he sells is watch straps. But in every single box, he writes a handwritten note and puts a pack of sweets in. So even at that lower end, you can still offer that really nice touch to deliver the best experience. So let's revisit number 5, which is the post-purchase evaluation. And this is really where you can build a lot of the loyalty and extended experience into your product or your service. For example, I work for a digital marketing agency, and what we do every time a client comes up for an anniversary, say a year of working with us, you send them a little gift, a little reminder to thank them, and that builds that relationship. So this is where you want to think about how you build an ongoing relationship with your consumer. So another way of doing this as well is getting subscribed to newsletters and having regular communication with how clients could maybe use your product better. We were offering 15% off on your next purchase to bring those clients back and just build up that trust and that relationship. That's why people, when they buy a new phone, they rarely change what brand they are. The phones is such a brand loyal one because all of the integration is included in it. So people have the same iPad, iPhone, everything's leaked in. And then when they bring out new software updates, it keeps you loyal. So number 6 is disposal. What's important to think from a marketer's point of view when we're talking about the decision-making process is that our influence stretches from the moment, even pre them needing the product, all the way to the end use of that product and them throwing it away. Offering things like trade-ins and upgrades for your product is a really good way of keeping them brand loyal, and even encouraging them to dispose of their current product in order to upgrade is a good way. Now, this can be done really well or really badly. So a really negative experience of this from a marketer's point of view would be planned obsolescence. So that's when mobile phones or certain technology is made unusable because they're trying to force an upgrade in certain businesses. A really positive example of building brand loyalty, especially with disposable, if you think about like quick turnaround products as well, like coffee, they're going to drink the coffee, they're going to dispose of it. But if you have a stamp card or a loyalty card where every 10 coffee you get one free, that's going to build up that loyalty. So thinking about that and integrating it into whatever product that you're trying to sell, whatever business you're trying to operate, there will always be a way. So hopefully in this video, you found value in thinking less like a customer and more like a marketer. This will help you improve your relationship with your customers, understand what they want and how to influence them more in order to get the most growth out of your business. The E-commerce Club is our monthly newsletter where we send around the latest news from Google, Microsoft, updates from some case studies that we've seen, and share future leak videos as well. So go ahead and subscribe there for exclusive content, offers, giveaways, and tons of really good quality information about how to improve your marketing and understanding the external market as well. So hopefully you found this video really valuable. If you did, definitely go over here and subscribe and turn on that little bell. And we've also got more content on this Thinking Like a Marketer series over here as well. If you've got any questions about running your e-commerce business or getting started, leave them in the comments and we'll come back to you. Thanks.